In the last 48 hours, Brazilian football went from samba celebrations to absolute chaos. Emergency meetings at 2 a.m. Leaked locker room photos showing players in furious confrontations. Cryptic Instagram stories deleted within minutes. A federation statement so vague it sparked more questions than answers. This is Brazil, five-time World Cup champions. The nation that gave the world Pelé, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, the team every opponent fears. The gold standard of beautiful football. And right now, they're in complete meltdown. Something went horrifically wrong behind closed doors, and the shockwaves are tearing through the football world. Fans are demanding answers, legends are speaking out, rivals are watching with popcorn in hand. If you haven't been following this story, you're about to find out what the entire football world is freaking out about right now. Because what happened in the last 2 days doesn't just shake Brazilian football, it changes everything. Let's rewind. 48 hours ago, Brazil was gearing up for their crucial World Cup qualifier against Argentina, the match that would define their campaign. On the surface, everything looked perfect. Social media was electric. Fans were posting throwback clips of Ronaldinho's magic, predicting Vinicius Jr. would tear apart the Argentine defense. Pundits were calling this Brazil's most complete squad in a decade. The Seleção was flying high, sitting second in the CONMEBOL standings, and confidence wasn't just high, it bordered on arrogance. Argentina doesn't stand a chance. One headline read, "The energy was pure optimism." But if you looked closer, cracks were already forming. Head coach Dorival Jr. gave a bizarre press conference answer when asked about his starting 11, stammering through a non-answer that left journalists confused. Neymar posted a cryptic Instagram story, just a single emoji, a broken heart, then deleted it 20 minutes later. Insiders whispered about tension between European-based stars and the domestic players. A CBF official made an offhand comment about egos needing to be managed. Small things, easy to dismiss. On the surface, everything looked perfect. Behind the scenes, a storm was brewing, and then in less than 48 hours, it all exploded. At 11:47 p.m. local time, Tuesday night, a video surfaced on Twitter. Grainy, shaky, clearly filmed through a cracked door. But the audio? Crystal clear. Vinicius Jr. and head coach Dorival Jr. in a screaming match that lasted nearly 3 minutes. "You're destroying this team!" Vini's voice, raw with anger. "You don't respect what we've built." The coach's response, cold and cutting. "If you can't follow tactics, you don't play. I don't care what your name is." The video spread like wildfire. Within an hour, it had 2 million views. Within 3 hours, Brazilian media was in full crisis mode. Here's what the cameras didn't show you. That argument was the breaking point of a 4-hour emergency meeting held in the team hotel. Sources inside the camp say it started when Dorival announced a shocking tactical decision. Vinicius Jr. would be benched for the Argentina match. Not injured, not suspended, dropped. The room erupted. Senior players like Marquinhos and Casemiro tried to mediate. Younger players stayed silent, terrified. Neymar, watching via video call from his recovery in Saudi Arabia, reportedly hung up in disgust. The meeting ended with players leaving in complete silence, some heading straight to their agents. This wasn't just a setback. This was a betrayal that fractured the entire squad. How does a team go from World Cup favorites to this in one night? The next 24 hours? Absolute pandemonium. By Wednesday morning, the CBF called an emergency meeting. Federation President Ednaldo Rodrigues, coaching staff, senior players. It lasted 6 hours. No phones allowed, no leaks. Until there were leaks everywhere. The squad fractured into factions overnight. One group rallied behind Vinicius, led by Rodrigo and younger Real Madrid contingent, furious at what they saw as disrespect. Another backdoor of all. Veteran players like Danilo and Marquinhos insisting discipline matters more than star power. Casemiro tried playing peacemaker and got attacked by both sides. Social media exploded. Fans were divided, vicious. Number Dorival out trended worldwide. Vinicius posted a photo of the Brazilian flag with the caption, "Always." Fans debated whether it was loyalty or a goodbye. Journalists went into overdrive. One report claimed Dorival had already been fired. Another said Vinicius demanded a transfer from the national team setup. A third insisted the whole thing was a federation power play to distract from corruption allegations. Nobody knew who to believe. Sponsors started sweating. Nike executives reportedly held crisis calls. Rival fans had a field day. Argentine accounts flooded with memes mocking Brazilian chaos. Then the legends weighed in. Ronaldo Nazario defended Vinicius on Instagram. Talent like this doesn't sit. Cafu fired back, respect the coach or you're not Brazil. The official CBF statement? Calm, corporate, evasive, internal matters resolved professionally. While the federation was saying everything was fine, sources were telling a very different story. This team was on the verge of implosion. This isn't just about one match or one scandal. This is about a football nation losing its way. Brazil hasn't won a World Cup since 2002. 22 years. For the country that defines football excellence, that's not a drought. It's a crisis of identity. Remember 1970, Pelé, Jairzinho, Carlos Alberto lifting the Jules Rimet Trophy with pure Joga Bonito magic. Remember 2002? Ronaldo's redemption, Rivaldo's brilliance, Cafu's leadership. That was a team built on chemistry, respect, and a unified vision. Now, it's chaos, dressed in yellow and green. The CBF has been plagued by corruption scandals for decades. Bribery allegations, mismanagement, presidents ousted in disgrace. Coaches rotate like a revolving door because federation politics matter more than football philosophy. Generational talent like Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Endrick is being wasted because egos and power struggles take precedence over winning. There's a massive divide between European-based superstars who live in Madrid and Manchester and the domestic culture that birthed them. They speak different languages now, literally and figuratively. And the pressure? Unbearable. Every Brazilian player grows up in the shadow of legends, expected to replicate miracles while navigating institutional dysfunction. The expectation doesn't inspire, it suffocates. Look at this current meltdown. It's not an accident. It's a symptom of a system that's rotten from the top down. Is Brazilian football broken beyond repair? That's the question nobody wants to ask, but everyone's thinking. Is this rock bottom? Or can it get worse? Let me know below. So, where does Brazil go from here? In the next 72 hours, we'll know which path they're on. Let's break down 3 scenarios. Best case scenario. The CBF pulls off miraculous damage control. Dorival and Vinicius have a mediated sit-down. Egos get checked. Apologies happen behind closed doors. The squad rallies around the us against the world mentality. Vinicius starts against Argentina, scores a brace, and suddenly this whole mess becomes folklore. The crisis that unified them. Brazil wins, the narrative flips, and they march toward World Cup glory. Sounds perfect, right? Yeah, I'm skeptical too. This federation doesn't have a track record of getting things right. Most likely scenario, Messi compromise. Vinicius gets reinstated to the starting 11 after productive conversations. Dorival keeps his job, but he's now coaching on thin ice. Authority shattered. The tension doesn't disappear. It just simmers beneath the surface. Factions remain. Brazil limps through qualifiers, winning some, losing others, looking disjointed and vulnerable. They make the World Cup, but everyone knows this team is one bad result away from another explosion. Worst case scenario, complete meltdown. Dorival resigns or gets sacked within the week. Vinicius withdraws from international duty citing personal reasons. Other stars follow. Sponsors pull back. Brazil suffers an embarrassing loss to Argentina that becomes a national humiliation, long-term reputational damage that takes years to repair. By the time you watch this, things might have already changed again. This story is moving fast. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. From legends to laughingstock in 2 days, that's where Brazil is right now. A leaked video, a fractured locker room, a federation in denial, and a football nation watching their identity crumble in real time. This isn't just drama, this is a reckoning, decades in the making. So here's what I want to know. Who's to blame? The coach for dropping his best player? The federation for years of corruption and mismanagement? Vinicius for letting ego override team unity? Or all of them for letting it get this far? Can Brazil recover from this, or is this the beginning of the end for a once untouchable football powerhouse? And honestly, what would you do if you were in charge right now? Drop your take in the comments. I'm reading every single one because this debate is just getting started. If you're as shocked as I am by what unfolded, smash that like button. And subscribe, because this story is far from over. 48 hours changed everything. The next 48 could be even crazier. Brazil's fate hangs in the balance, and we're all watching it unfold in real time.